Happy Death Day. So yeah, I was just telling you like I hadn't heard of it ever until you mentioned it. And for some reason I didn't put it together in my head that it was like a play on Happy Birthday until I realized that it was her birthday. Uh-huh.
My biggest complaint about this movie is I don't know. I think I sent the trailer to you once,
Yeah, you did.
and I put it in the Discord. But for anybody who has not seen it, you can find it on YouTube. But they play 50 cents in the club like throughout the whole fucking trailer.
Oh yeah,
Like
they
you know
do.
that like in the like her ringtone, how
Yeah.
it's like that dumb thing.
It's my birthday, and I ain't gotta pick up the phone.
In the trailer, her
Yeah.
ringtone was that song, and I was so sad that they like hyped this song up so fucking much in the trailer, and it's not in the movie like even
Yeah.
once. They hype that song up so much that if I hear that song now,
Uh-huh.
I think of this movie.
That's so weird that they would play it so much in the trailer and then not in the movie. Like, what kind of decision is that? There were so many times that the movie surprised me. Like, so did you, when you were watching it, since you were so good at getting the twists with like Mr. Robot, were you surprised with the way it ended, or did you see it coming?
I was actually kind of surprised.
Uh-huh.
Um, like I'll say the first time I watched it, when they have the little like fake out thing where like they're pretty sure they know who the killer is,
Yeah.
I was like so pissed. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this one person that they mention in passing like once
I
is the fucking
know.
killer. How the hell was I supposed to figure that out? I still did not think it was gonna be the person that it was, though, the first time I watched it.
Uh-huh.
I thought the same thing you did, like, with the, like, creepy teacher.
Mm-hmm. No, I was like, oh, it's definitely him. Like he's weird teacher, like sleeping with his student, and he was like offended when she was like, I'm not in love, I'm not falling in love with you. He was like, you're not. Guy
Yeah.
sucks. And then they
You
made
can't
him
trust a
like,
British guy.
I know.
No offense to Urban,
Oh yeah.
but he's not here, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
he doesn't, he'll never know that we said that. But and then they also did that thing where he like appeared really suddenly in her hospital room all creepy. So I was like, ooh, they're telling us that it's
Yeah.
him. I was annoyed when I thought it was Toombs because I was like, so this like random southern serial killer knows how to like manipulate time or whatever, or like, and he just targeted her because she's blonde. Like, I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. So I'm glad that wasn't it.
I don't know, like, when I watch it after the first time, I'm like, or what I thought about it after I watched it the first time, I'm like, the killer did make sense. But yeah, the first time I watched it,
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was.
After she had killed Toombs
Safety's off. Thanks for the tip.
and she woke up and it was still her birthday, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, she's still living the day. Like, what the fuck is going on? I felt so bad for her. So at first I was like kind of disappointed, but then it made me happy because like she lived that perfect day, kind of like Groundhog Day, where like she was really nice to everyone and she like was kissing everyone on the cheek and she had that like soppy dinner with her dad and then she like killed the guy and had a cute 16 candles type date. And then when she woke up, because I think if it was something like Groundhog Day, it would be like, okay, let me do everything right again. But this time it's just like, no, I'm so pissed off. Like, I'm not gonna do any of that again. Like, fuck that. I'm just gonna go figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I agree with you in a way. Like, I was kind of annoyed that it that her like perfect day was not the one that ended up happening because
Yeah.
of like she finally fucking sorted shit out with her dad. She like broke things off with that creepy professor.
Yeah. Oh,
And
she
I'm like,
like
now you gotta go and do all that shit over again.
I know. Oh, and she like talked to that guy about being gay and like helped him
Yeah.
accept himself. It was so funny in the montage when she was like peeking in the window at him and realized he was gay, and she's like just smiling like, "Oh," and it's like silent, and it's just I think that's like the funniest, like when someone's just peeking like that, it's so funny.
Although I have to say, in that montage, her realization, like, obviously we know Danielle wasn't the killer, but her, like, realization that it wasn't Danielle
Mhm.
doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's like she thinks that Danielle did it and they get into a fight in the street and get hit by a bus, and I'm like, that
Yeah.
doesn't really prove she didn't do it.
I know, I know. I was like, well, we haven't really figured anything out. We just know that her and Danielle like hate each other. I did think it was funny all the different ways that the killer would kill her. Like the cop car one was so elaborate and like
Yeah.
interesting. I was like, wow, they're really getting into this. Like they're having a good time. Also, if it were me, I would have died right away because I would have eaten the cupcake. Would have been like, "Yum, thank you." Like, I would have died right there. So I still wasn't clear on like why was the day happening over and over?
They don't really explain it.
That's amazing.
In the second one, they do I think they explain like why this time loop's happening or happened in the
Ooh.
second one because like typical slasher sequel
Right.
horror movie sequel where they take something that was great without the explanation and decide they're gonna over explain it because
Right.
they're like, what do we do?
Kind of like the
Our
live
movie's
action
so popular.
Aladdin. Prince Ali Ababa, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's on the map. It's on the map. Here it is." Like, okay, I don't need you to make it geographically make sense. This is a kids movie. I know we'll never get those 2.5 hours back.
I am so jealous of your husband
I
that he did not
know.
have to spend any of his time watching that movie.
He's so lucky.
I made Star watch it because we were in the same room, so
Mhm.
we grew together watching.
You went through it together and you came out stronger, a little more traumatized. I loved Danielle. I knew she was supposed to be like the bitch, but they had such a like they were so friendly with each other. Like she came
Yeah.
in and was like, "Oh my god, like when are you coming to the party?" Like I don't know, they were just like they were friendly. I thought it was cute their vibe that they had with each other. And then like also when Danielle came in and Tree was like, "Is that my top?" And Danielle was like, "Doesn't it look amazing on me?" I was like, "That shirt is really ugly though." Like I did not like it.
Yes, the first time I watched it, I thought she was just wearing a robe
I did
because she had like the
too.
curlers in her hair, and I
Uh-huh.
thought she was wearing a robe while she got ready.
So Silver says that they didn't like Tree in the first 30 minutes. I'm kind of the same because at first I didn't like her. Like when she was interacting with Carter for the first time, I was like, why is she being so unnecessarily rude?
Am I in a dorm room?
But then like I
Yeah.
started to like her a little more in the next like 10 minutes, like as she's walking through campus and like rolling her eyes a lot, and then that girl like waved at her and she like she just rolled her eyes like 1 million times, and then I was like, I bet there's a reason she's so like cranky and mean. And then we saw that she's in a sorority, and I was like, well, that's a problem right there. But then
Yeah.
when she threw her roommate's cupcake on the floor, I was like, that's a little mean. But then it ended up that that roommate was psychotic, so I guess that was the right thing to do.
And Silver is saying that the doctor also has a punchable face, which I will agree. I've always, since the first time I saw this movie, fucking hated the doctor.
I really, I was so upset that he was supposed to be like the hottie that she's sleeping with because he's
Yes.
so not good looking. Like, I would never in my life be like, oh my God, I gotta break the boundaries for this man. Like, I need to go against every red flag. Like, because he looks punchable, exactly. Referred to him as a rat when I was texting Emmy.
I feel like they should have cast somebody better looking if we're supposed to believe he gets all these hot college
I
girls fighting over.
know. and that someone was willing to kill for him. Like at first I don't pay attention to names as much when I'm watching movies, so when she said
Yeah.
Gregory,
Gregory? They just kept choosing you.
I was like, who the fuck is Gregory? Like he must be a babe. And then I'm like, oh my god, ew, it's the doctor. I wondered if it was like her mom's ghost or something, because I think it was in the second loop that you realize like her mom is dead and she's watching the video and you see that they had the same birthday. I'm like, oh, maybe this is like, I was like, maybe this is a Scrooge situation and her mom's ghost is upset that she's such a bitch.
That I guess I never thought that when I watched. I I thought it was the doctor until he got like stabbed.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, okay, well, it's not him, so who the hell is it? And then they had that fucking twist where it's like, oh, it's this serial killer. And I'm like, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You mentioned the serial killer once on TV as she was
Mhm.
like changing the channel.
Mhm. When I thought it was him, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense, but Emmy loves this movie, so it's gotta be better
Yeah.
than that.
But then we found out that it wasn't that guy.
I know, that was so
And
much more fun.
although I feel like them like saying actually it wasn't this guy was so quick to when they reveal who the killer is, I couldn't really pick a new person.
I know. You didn't get any time. Because it was like she realizes she's having the same day, and I was still reeling, like, oh my God, she's not gonna have her, like, beautiful, wondrous, I'm a changed person moment anymore. And then next thing we know, her roommate and her are fighting, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool, well,
Yeah.
that's fine. And then Danielle's just like, what are you losers doing in there?
What the hell's going on in there?
Nothing! Tree just fell! Everything's fine!
Whatever, clumsy hoes.
I just have to say, I think Danielle has the most fucking quotable lines in this movie.
100%. I'm gonna think about her every time I have breakfast for a while.
What is breakfast, Becky?
I'm like, oh, she got existential with it.
I also like in the next time loop when Becky's like, I missed breakfast, and she's like, we all miss breakfast.
I know.
I love her whole freaking interview.
She never wore makeup, never posted any cute selfies, and she literally owned a pair of Crocs. All the signs of a psycho killer were there. Hello? I'm trying to get interviewed here.
And then that poor headphone girl who just saw one of her sorority sisters get like murdered on the sidewalk in front of her.
I
She's
know.
crying in the background, and she's like, "Excuse me."
I felt so bad for Headphone Girl. Like, I knew it would be a loop, and I knew Headphone Girl, like, not getting a greeting would be, like, something that we would see over and over. And then, like, the perfect day would be Tree, saying hello to her. Like, oh, she's finally a nice person. And then that didn't happen. And I was like, well, you know what? At least Headphone Girl is vibing. Like, it's fine. And then the body, I thought the body was going to fall on her and kill her. And I was like, no. Like, Headphone Girl was my favorite. I loved her so much.
Yeah,
I was
I
scared for
I can
her.
kind of relate to her because she's just wanting to chill outside and
Mm-hmm.
listen to music
Get some
and
vitamin D.
have a good start to her day. I also enjoy listening to music, like when I go for walks or whatever.
Same. I'll listen to
So I'm
music
like,
when I'm going to check the mail. And then I also could relate to her because I I just knew, like, I made up a whole saga for Headphone Girl in my head about how, like, she saw Tree approaching, like, from a long distance away, and she was like, should I say hi to Tree? Like, we don't really talk. And I've got my headphones in, so I don't want to take them off. What should I do? Maybe I'll just smile at her. And then finally, Headphone Girl, as Tree is approaching, is like, I'll just do a cute little wave, non committal, and she'll wave back, and we'll be gravy. And then she does the wave, and Tree just like sneers at her, and Headphone Girl is like, "Oh my God, why? Why is this happening to me? All of my efforts." Why does no one like me?
To be fair, Becky apparently likes her enough to comfort her when she's
Oh,
crying.
that's true.
And yelled at by Danielle.
Yeah. Danielle is everything. Because
It's
Danielle
her.
is like, she's mean, but it's kind of like harmless mean. Whereas Tree is like kind of horrible mean. Like when she's going through everything with Carter and she's like, there's that time I spat on an Uber driver. And Carter's like, what?
And was it a Starbucks employee she got fired?
Yeah. Whereas Danielle just is like making speeches about breakfast.
I also fucking love when after she's done yelling at Headphone Girl and
Uh-huh.
Becky,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, we're Kappas, we don't eat cupcakes.
Lori's little plot was super lame. Poisoning a cupcake? Really? We're Kappas. We don't eat cupcakes.
I'm not disappointed that she tried to kill Tree. I'm disappointed in the lackluster level of her scheme. Danielle's basically saying, like, if I wanted to kill Tree, I would have had a way better plan. Like,
And
I
I
love
do
it.
not doubt that.
She would. Danielle was amazing. I did feel a little bad for her when she was trying to flirt with that guy. And she was like flipping her
Yeah.
hair around and like laughing way too hard. And I was like, oh, well, Danielle, you don't have to try so hard,
I
baby.
was gonna say, especially since that guy, to me anyway, was not that great.
And then you find out that he's like a huge
Yeah.
loser. Like when he took her into his room and it's like, oh, he's gonna put on the moves. And then so he like clicks that button to and you're expecting like the lights to dim and maybe some like Boys to Men to come on or something. And instead it's like
And then when she's like over it and she's like text fighting with Danielle, I'm like, this is when the real killer's gonna pop out.
I did like that Tree wasn't like a damsel in distress. Like she wasn't an Elena about things. Like from the
Yeah.
start she was trying to like fight the guy off. I did feel like never in my life would I walk through a tunnel at night alone and then notice someone stalking me and yell at them. But I was like, well,
I
Tree's different. She's not like other girls. Like,
I don't think I would have gone in that tunnel the second I saw that fucking music box.
yes.
Like the grandma music box.
Oh, and I can't remember if I texted this to you or not, but does anyone actually like music boxes?
Gonna say maybe like
Really old
grandmas,
people?
but
Yeah.
like if you have it for more than like an hour, the like person's like bent on.
Yeah, exactly. They never like they don't have a long lifespan. And like it's not like it plays multiple songs. It just plays one piece of a song or whatever over and over in that weird tone. Like I don't get the
Yeah.
point. I don't understand. If
Yeah,
anyone,
I
there's
don't
gonna
know.
be like some music box enthusiast who comes in and it's like, oh my god, fuck you guys.
It's gotta be Urban.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna be like, I have a music box collection and it's my most prized possession.
In his castle.
I didn't really get though, like when she was in the second time loop, it's like she knew it was a time loop but also didn't, 'cause like she knew that Carter was coming to give her her bracelet, but
Yeah.
then she still was like, "Oh, I'm having deja vu." Oh my god, and then Danielle had another great line. She's like, "Oh, deja vu happens when someone's masturbating while thinking about you. It happens to me like 5 times a day." I'm like, "Is that a flex though?" Like
That's all I'm gonna think about when I think about deja vu.
cuz it's like, "Danielle, where did you even get that from? I've literally never heard that." Like I always think like, "Oh, it's a glitch in the matrix, like they've changed something."
Deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix.
But now I'm going to think about that and that's what I'm going to say to people from now on. And I'll just
You
let them
should.
think like, yeah, you've never heard that? That's such a common thing. What would you do if you woke up and it was the same day every day?
I definitely don't think I'd purposely go try and get myself killed every fucking day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd probably just have like fun, do like stupid shit. Like I'm gonna
Same.
max out like I spend all my money on something stupid.
Same. I probably eat a lot. Yeah, because it's kind of like being immortal. Like, you can pretty much do whatever you
Yeah.
want. Yeah, I could think of worse things. She realizes she's in a loop pretty quickly. So you skip that whole like, oh my god, what's happening? She figures it
Yeah.
out pretty, and she tells someone too.
I know this isn't going to make any sense, but I have already lived through this day.
Cause like if that was happening
Unfortunately,
to
she told the
me,
killer.
I know, like the person who like certainly does not give a fuck about her. She did tell the rat too, that doctor, and he was just like, oh my god, you're so dumb.
I have said if we were like the person that like the killer is trying to get in a horror movie, like we definitely would not be the final girl. Like we'd give up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if I were in Tree's like situation, I'd be like, no, like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna deal with it.
I know, same. Like when she was spending every day trying to figure out who it was. Like I don't think I could care that much. And yeah, if I was in a horror movie, I would just be like, I don't want to deal with the stress of this situation. Like it's just my time. The guy who's like in the closet, I wonder about him. Like, is he still in the closet? Like, he didn't get that speech this time. He kind of looked like a wide Ryan Reynolds. And Danielle said she
Yeah.
thought he was hot. Oh, Danielle.
Well, Danielle clearly does not have good taste in dudes.
No, she's so terrible. Yeah, I love this movie. It's gonna be one of the ones I rewatch for sure. Right there with Fast and Furious and Pride and Prejudice.
What is breakfast,
What
Becky?
is breakfast, Becky?
Watch us next week.
Yes, we'll be here next week every Wednesday.
Even if you don't watch what we're talking about, just watch us because we're hilarious.
Yeah, we're so funny. It might even be more fun because you'll be like, what? Now we've saved you the trouble of watching it. We watched it for you. If there's a show that you're like, everyone's talking about this show, but I don't feel like watching it, we'll watch it. We'll do that for you and we'll talk about it. We watched the live action Aladdin.
We're invincible now.
We can do anything. I could jump out of a plane. Like, bye everyone.
Bye.